We've been working with smoky skies for much of the week, but today's kind of our relief day. When I look at our downtown sky cam, yes, there is still some haze, but nothing like what we have had even the last 2 days. I'm able to see further down the mighty Maumee River, so that's a good sign considering we weren't able to see that even yesterday. Though it is hazy and we kind of have these milky skies, we do at least have some sun pouring into downtown Toledo. So it's kind of that filter look. We've had looks similar to this earlier in the season, but the smoke that we had just the last couple of days have been extreme compared to what we are used to. As far as the air quality index, happy to see some changes here. Yesterday, we were hanging out between unhealthy and very unhealthy in the red and the fuchsia color. And thankfully here today, the Toledo area been sitting in that good condition, little to no risk. Happy to hear that, as we are though still finding a few locations that are just into those 50s as far as that air quality index. So at times we'll fluctuate between the two, but it's a lot more comfortable if you do have to be outside. Now, as far as radar and satellite, pretty quiet there, but I am still keeping an eye on our data regarding the wildfires, as we are going to find that we're into the lighter colors, so still a little bit of that lighter smoke still hanging around, kind of that hazy look, but nothing like what we've had. And conditions, even as we go into Saturday, are not going to worsen, so that is good news. Is really the wind direction. You can kind of see these southerly winds. Those are going to be pushing some of that smoke back out of the area, and also is what it's going to do is bring in some humidity. So think about it, the trade-off: we get rid of the smoke, but then we add that sticky and uncomfortable feeling into the forecast. So there's a lot of moving parts to what we have coming our way in the next couple of days in the weather world. Even for the weekend, I'm tracking some storms, so that's why I want to give everybody the heads up to download the WTOL 11 weather app. You'll be able to use radar there, and also if you're going to the fireworks displays, well, you're going to want to make sure that it's not raining or how it's going to look temperature-wise while you're sitting in your lawn chair enjoying a view. So use the hour-by-hour forecast. I know we have a lot of displays here for the weekend, in and through early next week and the weekend following. So if you have the app, that's great. Don't forget to tell your friends, though, to have it while they go on their camping trip this weekend. Because as we look at the weekend forecast, whether you're going camping, maybe you're watching baseball here in town, you will find that we do have some showers and storms. The thunderstorms on Saturday are going to be in the back half of the day after lunchtime, even lasting through the dinner hour, as highs are going to be in the upper 80s. By Sunday, it'll be a little more scattered as far as those storms, and the rain's going to keep us on a little bit of a cooler side. We're talking lower 80s by Sunday, but we still have bigger heat coming in that 4th of July forecast. Before we get there, though, let's take a quick look at radar, where we do have the rain that was off towards our north and south, and you can see that energy just kind of dividing, making a little bit of a wedge. So we came out with dry roadways earlier this morning, and we haven't picked up much rain. I am keeping an eye on the system that is cruising through Iowa, and that's going to kind of follow this track to where we saw with that rain that pushed off towards our south and east. That's going to continue to pull and tug as well, to where many of us are going to miss out on a chance of rainfall, even some severe weather associated with that system. So of course we're keeping an eye to it, though many of us for today are going to have a mainly dry forecast. Even that severe weather outlook does include, on the lowest threat level, portions of northwest Ohio. So just keep in mind that you can pick up a few showers later on this evening, even a few thunderstorms. So that's why you just want to have the app, as we do have a little bit of a stormy weekend ahead of us. That's what you're finding here on the 4th of July forecast. We talked about those afternoon thunderstorms for Saturday and even into Sunday, looking at quite a bit of water scattered throughout the day. But by Monday and Tuesday for your 4th of July plans, if you're still making a long weekend of it, and you have Monday off, you're going to have plenty of sun, warm temperatures, as we're still eyeing the mid 80s at that point, and 90s by Tuesday. It's going to be a hot Independence Day. We'll have still quite a bit of sun into our forecast, and 90s are no stranger. Actually, the last 5 4th of July holidays, we have reached the low to mid 90s. So I wouldn't be surprised if we once again add another 90 to the data. And now the hour-by-hour forecast, I have it set for today. You're going to find a mainly dry forecast for our Friday, even though we have some energy. So that's why we could have an isolated shower or two. As we step into the weekend, it's going to start out dry, but into the afternoon, you're going to find that we do have some of those scattered showers and storms. As we go into Sunday, still very scattered in nature as far as those rain chances. So is the whole weekend a wash? Not necessarily, because we will have some dry moments. It's just going to be hard if your plans are outside, whether you're barbecuing or camping or maybe going canoeing, kayaking, fishing. No matter what you're doing this weekend, you're going to want to have the app because it's going to be hard to pinpoint where those little specks of green are going to go. So see how the weather is going to impact your plans. Even as we go into Sunday evening, we are still looking at those scattered showers. Now, also a heads up as far as some fuel for these storms, we do have 80s in our forecast and even 90s, not only for today, but for Tuesday and Wednesday, meaning July 4th and July 5th. Then after that, we're still going to be holding on to the 80s. So a very summer-like 10-day going to be in our forecast, maybe a little bit of a cooler spell towards next weekend. But as far as the rain, we have that mainly here for the weekend. And then we do dry it out for the holiday. All this time, we're between the 80s and the 90s. We do have next Thursday a chance for some rain, and then that cools us out. You'll find that those highs do go into the lower 80s and dry weather, though, to go with it. So that's a nice looking forecast for the following weekend as our summer weekends do get very busy. Of course, though, the weather is a big driver on that. So always have the WTOL 11 weather app to keep an eye on radar, but also monitor that 10-day forecast.